Welcome back to PSGL Season 28. This is round 2 of the F2 tier and we head under the lights at the Marina Bay circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. My name is Jess and joining me as per usual, just like last week, we got Owen Wyatt. How you doing?
Hello Jess, hello audience, welcome along. It is F2 once again. We've gone from the shortest track to one of the longest tracks here at Singapore, and you're going to get a very long string because the lobby may or may not need to be restarted.
Yeah, the lobby had to be restarted because the lobby host forgot to change it from day to official. So the drivers would have been driving in a day, which is not what we wanted because the temperatures would have been different, the sun would have been blinded. It's just not realistic. There's no point going under the lights if we don't go to the night time in Singapore. One of the second night races on this game, actually third if you count Abu Dhabi, as it starts from pretty much sunset conditions to dusk, but you know what I mean. Anyway, if you didn't watch last week's race, where have you been? It was a crazy and cracking season opener. We saw KJ took the win on track, but due to penalties and him overtaking Young Power off track and a few other things, he did get a time penalty, which allowed Young Power to eventually take the win now. I think we both called it on what happened there. We had a feeling he was going to get a penalty off stream, and he did. A bit of a shame for KJ to miss out on his first win, but maybe he could get the opportunity tonight.
Well, let's hope so. I think we saw last week just how competitive the field was. All 10 teams got one car in the top 10. Which is something very rare. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before in a league race. It shows just how competitive everyone is. And yeah, KJ was the man for most of the race, and then it all just falls apart at the end. But it was still a good start, still good potential for the whole season. A short season, remember, not that many races, only 10. So yeah, we'll see if KJ can keep his form up. But there are so many drivers who can win this race tonight. I feel like we still don't know that much about everyone's pace yet, because it was sort of, a different track last time. But yeah, it's good that they're all so close. Hope it continues.
Yes, and I think the main thing we're going to look out for is probably the driver's pace. We're going to find out a bit more, I think, towards round 3 and round 4. This is when we get to start to see the pecking order. This is the first long track on this game. So I think we won't get to see the pecking order then. But once we get to Belgium, we'll think, right, who's on top, who needs to improve, and stuff like that. So we'll go through your standings whilst we wait for the lobby to restart again, and I think they said it on official, so it's all good. So Young Power obviously took the win last week, so he's leading the championship. Joey is in second, but he's no longer in the league anymore due to the fact that in Monaco last season in F3, someone else drove for him, which is a little bit annoying. He's no longer in the league. Replacing him is Antoine, who was in the Renault last week, I believe, but he's in the Williams from now on until the end of the season. Greeny in third, who actually got his podium due to penalties from KJ. So he equals his points haul in one race from last season, so that's interesting. Benny in 4th place, he got promoted to 4th place, as well as Ascom in 5th. KJ got demoted to 6th. We got Banner, Suku, Luca, and then Fabi gets your final point. And then we got Lars, Hadler, Petrux, M. Shaw, Lamakina, Royal Valley, and Cedric. Toxic Tomato and Gil yet to score any points, and making his return for the very first time after missing last week, we got CC Brain in the Renault. He couldn't make it last week, but he's racing with Green in this week, so that's great to see. But talking about Joey being kicked from the lead, that's not a good sign, is it?
Not a good sign. It was a strong race for him last week as well. It was a shame to see him go so soon. But has to be said, both Williams were up there last week, so Hadler had his accident. Wasn't really much that could have been done about that one. So hopefully the team isn't in too much trouble, but it is a setback, obviously, to lose a driver that quick so early.
It is, but hopefully we've seen that situation in F2 in Season 26 when Rafa left the league. I still cry to this day that Rafa's left the league, but the Williams still actually won the Constructors that time. I believe it was Toxic Tomato, and I can't remember who else was in the Williams then with him, so I can't remember. But Williams still won the Constructors anyway, so anything can happen with the Williams team, and it's not over, and I'm sure the Williams boys will go out strong. And Antoine was so close in getting points last week. Maybe this could be the night where he does it. And the tyres are going to be interesting today because the tyre temperatures it's a bit annoying. It's a bit hot as well. The softs are not the best tyre to be on because lap 3 on lap 4 it just tends to die, so they're going to be out there pretty quickly. But it will be interesting to see how qualifying goes for everybody, I think, today.
Yeah, I mean, it will be very interesting just to see what tyre they decide to go for. Don't know what weather's going to be in the race. This track tends to have rain, so if we get it early enough in the race, maybe that'll, get people to try the softs. But I'd be surprised if we get many actually on them. There'll always be a few to go for the gamble, but I wouldn't be surprised to see most qualifying on mediums actually. But if it's softs, then that must mean there's rain coming. So we'll see what they're all going to do. We've got a few cars already coming out of the pits, and they actually are on the softs. So what do I know? What do I know?
Oh, please don't tell me it's going to rain. Please don't tell me it's going to rain. But I've seen that in many leagues where a lot of people go on the soft, but they tend to either invalidate on purpose or they tend to slow down across the line just so they can get a lap time on the soft to get a feel for the track. So you never know. They may go on the softs at the end if it ends up being a wet to dry race, which could happen. No one's on the mediums actually, so yeah, I think we could have some wet happenings at the moment. It had lots of turns around this circuit as well. Plenty of opportunities to overtake. The Singapore Sling being one of the corners that can catch people out a lot of the time as well. And I have to say, probably it's not going to be that closer in qualifying compared to last week. But I said that last season. Everyone was within a second last season as well, even in the dry conditions. So anything can happen, of course. There's a few people have invalidated on their outlaps, but everyone's on their outlaps anyway. And good news, it's all in the night at the moment, so they got the lobby settings correct. I don't know who's going to take pole position on this one. Maybe KJ can get pole again. This could be redemption for him, potentially Ascom as well, potentially maybe Greeny as well could turn his one race form to potentially for the whole race as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
I'm not going to make any predictions because it tends to go quite wrong when I do that. So we're going to watch and we're going to see what happens. I do think it will maybe be a bit of a different grid to last time just because, like I say, the tracks are so different. That's what you want to see. In a shorter season, a bit of variety means that you've got to be on your top game. And yeah, different tracks. This is really going to show who is the best, obviously. That's the whole point of it. But yeah, first lap's getting underway anyway by World Rally in his AlphaTauri.
Yep, as he heads towards turn 1 and turn 3, clips that little apex a little bit, and I've seen a few people go for some overtakes here as well. Commonplace to get the overtakes in as well, as there was a little bit of a twitch there my end. I think that's fixed itself. There we go. And this is one of the first DRS zones on the circuit. Quite a few on this track as well as you head towards, I believe that's turn 7, if I get my corners right. Yes, it is turn 7 that you just gone past as well. Keeping his battery nice, all right, and I think he's probably going to run out just before he goes to the line, but you really want to be on hot lap for majority of the lap really to get the best possible lap in at the moment. Goes into 4th gear. He seems to be doing all right. Obviously these are banker laps at the moment for these drivers, so they will be going a little bit slow. Oh, that's not a really good exit from Rob Valley there. That will probably not be his best lap. It won't be provisional part at the moment, but he'll be the first person to set a lap time. So it's purple in set to 2 anyway, so start of set to 3. Now this is where one of the trickiest corners, I have to say, in terms of braking and probably people messing up as well as you go under the bridge deck, heading towards the final few corners as well. The drivers have been told to not cut the pit lane once again. They have been warned. A few people almost got caught out last week as he's gone on 0 mode on the ERS just to make sure he gets into deployment mode on the line, and it's a 134.5 for Wild Valley. Suka goes fastest with a 132.8. I think he wants to go for the gamble here and take pole position, but we'll see if the gamble pays off for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. I'm surprised just the difference in the lap time, but it is in that last sector, World Rally, he certainly turned that ERS right down. He had the big lockup as well at the hairpin. So yeah, probably just a bank lap. Probably just see what everyone else is going to do and see how his lap time would look if it were on the softs. Because it happens all the time here. It almost feels like these early laps are useless to look at. I don't know why we bother analysing it, because we were like, oh look, he's doing this, he's doing that, and then they'll stick on medium to go faster anyway. But yeah, Suko still fastest then. We've got a few more times coming through, most of them close, and obviously World Rally's the exception. I think Lamaquina had it invalidated, he's come back to the pits. and yeah, a few more, and only.
Yeah, it's impossible to analyse on who we think is going to be doing well at the early stages of qualifying. It's just very hard to know, as we've seen quite a few people invalidate, as Hadler's gone second fastest at the moment, Fabi's gone third as well. Maybe people going early may strongly suggest there could be a wet end to qualifying, but you never know with these type of qualifying sessions what could happen. As I'm trying to see if anyone else is on the lap. I think we got M Short that's coming across the line. Yes, he is in third position with a 1:33.2. Then we got last week's pole sitter on a lap at the moment, KJ. I don't think he used his DRS there, so I'm guessing he's invalidated there. He's gone off the track, just like the overtake he did last week. But there we go. So a bit of a shame there from KJ, but I know he can go just a little bit faster. Maybe most of these guys are saving the mediums to a little bit later on.
Yeah, they must be. They must be. It's like I say, it's what we expect right here. Par on a lap as well. He's obviously the man at the moment. We'll see what he can do. Purple in the middle sector, according to the game, and that's quite wide in chicane. Probably going to lose a little bit of time there, and as he heads under the bridge as well. Just got to keep it out of walls. It is just a banker lap at the end of the day, and you can see World Rally in the pit has already changed his tyres to the mediums. Sort of what we're expecting from everyone at the end of this session, but let's see if Jan Par sets lap anyway. Here he comes. Not going to be P1, I don't think, and in fact he's put the brakes on just to make sure it isn't a good enough time that he can't beat on a set of mediums, and even then it's still only 7 tenths off the pace, telling me that maybe most of them are only sort of cruising around there at the start of this session.
Yeah, getting a feel for the track, because obviously it is quite hard. The endurance that these drivers have to face around this circuit as well is quite hard. It's like an endurance race for some of these drivers too, so something to watch out for. And the shoulders tend to hurt when you're racing around here, especially if you're on a wheel too. So, you know, you really want to get a feel for it in qualifying, because otherwise you're going to have trouble in the race. 31 laps the drivers will have to face around it. Times will be close to about an hour, this race will be, as we're already starting to see, I think, a few drivers go on to the medium tyres, World Rally being one of them. So, yeah, World Rally, I think, is not wanting to start on his qualifying lap on the mid-softs. He wants to go on to the mediums. I wonder if everybody else will potentially too, as I wonder if anyone's going faster. Nope, they are not, but I gotta say, Lars, I'd say another person close to the points too. He's gonna get a bit of a tow from Fabi actually, unless he's on it out lap, so it doesn't matter. Slipstream is banned in this league anyway, so you are not allowed to give slipstream to your teammate. It's not allowed, otherwise you'll get a penalty. You're allowed to do it in the race, of course, as Lamborghini goes on a lap. To anyone else about to finish a lap, we got Banner, who unfortunately has just invalidated his lap time, so he won't be finishing his lap with 9 minutes left to go. Pole time prediction, what do you think?
I just don't know. It could still end up being in the 32s, I think. Because I do think, like, say, mediums will go faster than 32.8, but I just don't think they'll go quick enough to go into the 31s. Unless someone does stick a set of sauce on and goes into the 31s themselves like that way. Maybe Lam McQueen is going to do that. Because this is his second runner on the track. He did invalidate earlier on his softs, and so he went into the pits and put a new set on. So we'll see where he goes. But like I say, probably it's going to be somewhere in the low 32, maybe high 31s. It just depends which tyre everyone decides to go on. But here comes Lam McQueen anyway, around the final corner, and he's going to set a 32.8. Just a thousandth of a second, only a little thousandth off P1 as it stands.
Yep, indeed. Not bad from Lamborghini on the sauce, but I wonder if he's probably regretted going pushing a little bit on his lap because he may want to be on the mediums. I don't know, but we will see towards the end. Maybe they're predicting an early safety car, just like we've seen in the F2s, in the lower tiers a few days ago, where we've seen early safety cars in lap 1.
Look at this, look at World Rally.
Well, Valley's going faster on the mediums. He's definitely pushing right now. He's got a bit of slipstream from the Alfa Romeo as well, who's on his out lap, or his in lap, I think, as well. This is looking good for him as well. His only win last season.
He's abandoned it.
Oh, I swear, every time I try to go on a hot lap with someone, they just bin it or invalidate, or they just lose a bit of time. I don't know. He's on his only set of mediums. I believe the drivers only get one set of medium tyres for the session, no matter what you go on, either the balanced or the harder option. So This is a risk for Old Valley, but maybe he's going to go out again. It may indicate what the weather's going to be like for the race, but not everybody will be on the mediums otherwise if that's the case. But we shall see. I'm guessing he was probably not happy with his lap, so he's going to go out again. Bit of a shame there. Anyone else on the mediums we can look out for? His teammate Luke is on a lap right now, but he's just about to start one. But we have a few people about to cross the line. We've got, I think it's an Alfa Romeo of Fabi. Yeah, it is Fabi,
yeah.
Who just got 1 point last week. Looking for a point to prove. The highest F2 driver who scored last season. Coming across the line now, heading towards the final corner. Shortest run to the line he goes, 1:32.6, and that is pole position. That looks pretty good for him. Was, I believe, finished second last season in F2. So he's looking one of the favourites so far to win this race. And we got Gil, I think, on the lap as well, who unfortunately was suffering from loads of glitches last week, and he ended up retiring lap 1. Apparently he was 6th on this screen, but he was last in our screen. So
yeah,
the game there, but looking like his game is all right at the moment. No, Gil doesn't seem to be leaving, but he has invalidated his run. So
gotta say, just you've seen that gap between second and fourth. I know you said you didn't think it'd be that close. 0.02 of a second between 3 drivers. I never thought I'd see today. But that's between second, third, and fourth. So maybe they are pushing. I just don't know what to look at this point. Maybe Suku's going to change that. Oh, no, he isn't. Well, he hasn't given up the lap, has he? He has, actually.
Yeah, he has given up. I think he just
Someone
gave up
show
on
us a
sector
lap.
3. Yeah, someone show us a lap, please, as I'm trying to see anyone else on a lap. I think we got, let's see if Antoine is on a lap. Nope, he's not. He just finished one. I'm trying to find his teammate, actually.
Oh, there. M short. Yeah, he's lucky, sorry, to interrupt there, but he nearly hit the wall M short in the final corner. He went completely off the track. He improved the lap, obviously invalidated, but yeah, lucky he's even in the session still M short. Staying P6. That's a creative way to bounce in your lap, maybe, if that's what he was doing. Because it still doesn't look like anyone's pushing yet. What about World Rally? He's up on this current lap.
Yep,
and
here we go,
it's the final sector last time where he gave it all up. He's made a little bit of time back, but he's still 1.2 seconds off the pace, and his teammate's invalid, and no one else is on a lap on the mediums at the minute.
Nope, they're not. And we're looking at the delta as well. Not much of a difference between the softs and the mediums, but we will see the mediums in the race probably come to its own around lap 3 and 4 as well. So if I were them, maybe stay on the mediums for a little bit longer in the race potentially as well. I'm just looking at the delta, 0.8 of a second between the softs and the mediums. So if he was on the softs, maybe he was pushing, he would be a 1:33, I think a 1:32.9, I would say, which will put him P6, I think. Yeah, P6, just ahead of M short. Now Gil goes fastest actually with a not fastest, 6th position with a 1:33.0. So yeah, I think World Rally would have been near where Gil and M short would have been on his lap if he was on the soft. So it's crunch time for these drivers. There's 4 minutes left to go. A majority of people will be going into the pits. Banner's on a lap now as well. He seems to be pushing so far, looking pretty good too. He was very unlucky last week. He kept getting black screens in qualifying, which I think that's why he was lower down on the grid. But he seems to be okay at the moment. He hasn't left the session either. So two of the drivers who have had bad luck in qualifying, they seem to be still in the session. Bannon, though, hasn't set a lap yet. He's got to go on a lap, because otherwise it could be one-shot qualifying for him, as Banner's gone purple in Sector 2 as he starts Sector 3. But I wonder if it's a game telling porcupines to me as he heads towards, what's corner is it? It is towards, I think, turn 15, 16, 17. I don't know what the corner names are out on this circuit, but he's looking good so far. Is he going to back out on his lap? Let's see. But
I'm surprised. It looks a really good lap.
He's binned in the wall. He's binned in the wall almost. He's run out of ERS, but that shouldn't be a problem. Comes across the line, and it is a good lap, as you said. 1:32.5.
We've got 2 people out there on mediums, by the way. You've invalidated. Ugh. What are they going to do? I want to see a lap. Maybe, okay, do you know what? Let's stop pretending. Maybe the softs are quick. Maybe we are seeing the best lap time. Maybe we've just watched Balmer stick it on pole with 3 minutes to go in the session. Because, do you know what? Everyone's coming out of the pits on softs.
Wow.
They've only got 3 people looking at the mediums now, and 2 of them are invalidated cruising round. So, do you know what? Maybe that is a soft run in pace. Let's focus on that then as the main tire. Maybe that does mean Webber's going to play about in the race, which is always interesting around here. And expected, I guess. But here's Greeny. He's going to start his last lap. I'd be surprised if he gets someone in there unless he decides to invalidate this one or abort. He don't have the fuel for that though, so this should be it for Greeny. Had a great start to the season, looking to continue that. He is one of 5 drivers ultimately. He has not got a time on the board. So this is a banker lap and it's his final lap at the same time.
Greeny actually performed well in Singapore last season as well. I believe he got one of his points hauls here as well. And yeah, it's looking very good for Greeny on those soft tyres as he heads towards this section of the circuit in Sector 1. I wonder how his Sector 2 is going to be as well. He looks very, very committed. I feel like he was more comfortable in this league because he had a season where he got used to no line again, where this season is his second season of no line, a little bit more experience compared to some of the drivers in this league where they're running no line for the first time as well. So I won't be surprised if he gets in the points again, as Ballina has retired from the session. So I think he thinks his 132.5 is enough, and he's probably going to hope he qualifies outside the top 10, but I doubt it with that lap, so I don't think the mediums could go faster on that lap. But anyway, let's watch Greeny as he comes towards the final half of the lap before Erwin takes us through the rest of qualifying. So let's see if Greeny can get into the top 10. And I wonder if he's pushing. Yeah, he seems to be pushing. He's not backing out. There's yellow flags in the final sector though. That's probably didn't help him too much. But it's a 133.346, which puts him in P10 just in that bubble there. I think he must be pretty happy with that.
He will be happy with that, I think, because even if he does fall down, it'll be, into the free tire choice range. Benny's just crossed the line. He's not quite into the top 10 yet, so that's him done for this qualifying session. We've got Lama Queen going second fastest across the line. Look how close that is, 7/1000 of a second. We've got more coming around now. Hadler's invalidated, so he's going to go again. It was his out lap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Same with Suko, out lap as well. Next car after him will be World Rally. He's gone back to the softs, look, so yeah, he's also abandoned this medium idea. Maybe he was just doing it for fun, I don't know. Lars is starting a lap as well. I believe Ascon is on a lap on his mediums, and he is, he's going for another one actually, sorry. He must have invalidated that one and just reset. Only got 40% ERS, so I wonder if that's even going to get into the end of the lap with enough power, but we'll see. Young Par starting lap as well. We've got a few cars behind. There's a really close battle there. It's almost like a racing fight. I don't know how they're going to get their laps. And with Young Par there and who's that? Gill in there too with an AlphaTauri. And there's another car in there as well. There's everywhere. Luca in there, Fabi. Everyone's getting involved. It's difficult to get caught in traffic here, but they're managing it. Gill's into the wall. That's going to wreck his lap. I believe he'll have broke his front wing with that. And indeed he has. He's given up straight away. CC Brain sixth flare across the line as we finish the session. Checker flag is out. We got HRT in his McLaren heading through the final sector. He's going to run an ARS there. It could be down to who has that run at the last corner, which could decide this, because you can see he's not going to have a great run, but he'll have a little bit better traction as a result. He goes P4, a long way off actually those top 3, only a 10 for part of those top 3, but 3 tenths behind after that. So they're going to have to try and find that gap. M Short's not going to. He's into the pit lane. Hadler's around the final corner. He's also out of the ARS, but is it going to matter? He goes P4, still an improvement. Suku, he was top earlier. He stays in 6th fastest though. No improvement for him. Next up, we're going to have World Rally around the final corner. And this looks like a good lap. My times were lying to me. I said it's going to be a 31. It's a 35.
Oh.
Don't do that to me. Here's Antoine. He goes to the top 10. Knocks Greeny out of that top 10 now. Elting, KJ. Only 14th fastest. What about Young Par? Race winner last time out. And he's qualified at the back of the grid this week. Greeny slowing down. Fabi, I believe, was slowing down as well. So that would mean we're done for qualifying. And it is Balmer and Paul. So yeah, look at that. We do have a slightly mixed up grid compared to last week. The big names from last week seem to have gone down the order a bit.
Yeah, Benny, who finished 4th last week, down in 16th. Ascom, who finished, I think, 5th, starting last. John Power, who won the race, is starting 17th place. So what is going on? But it was a short track last week. It's hard to tell their pace, really, from just one race alone as well. And Banner, who had unlucky luck in qualifying last week. He's actually turned his luck around and is on pole position this week. So it just goes to show, never give up on this league and you can get results. And it looked like Banner was practicing as well for this as well. So look at the gap as well between first and second. 7/1000 of a second between Banner and Lammacrina. So we got Banner on pole, Lammacrina in second, Fabi in third. The two Alfa Romeos close together. That could be an interesting race between those two. Hallow in fourth. We got Igoro in fifth. I think he's the one who's filling in for Toxic Tomato this week. Suko in sixth. CC Brain seventh. Gill in eighth. Then we got M Short and Antoine being in the top 10. Antoine, the only one in the top 10 on the mediums. I wonder how that's going to play in the race. But outside the top 10, we've got three choice of tyres. We've got Greeny, Lars, Luca, KJ Eltink, World Valley, Benny, Young Power and Ascom. Everybody set a lap time in the top 17 now within a second.
Indeed, yes. It's a nice close grid. I find it interesting to see the gaps in there as well, because from 10th to 17th, it was only about 2/10. So, you know, it was close in there. And then, you know, but it's almost like there's two different grids out there, because it's only 3/10 between that top sort of 7, 8. So it does feel like we've got sort of two different skill gaps of grid already. We'll see how that plays out in the race, and we'll see what the weather does. Very much dry at the minute by the looks of it. So, yeah, we're going to see how they all go on. Remember, 31 laps right here, and they're long laps, so any weather changes could affect, could affect things quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, so luckily no rain at the moment, but anything could happen in F2, and we could see a sprinkle of rain later on. I don't check the weather forecast from the drivers. I like to keep it a secret for me and you guys who are watching at home as well, but the drivers are starting to ready up a course. So a few facts about the track actually before we start the race. First opened in 2008 as well. The inaugural event was in 2008 as well. That was it was on honour of hosting the first nighttime race in Formula 1 history. Fernando Alonso claimed a victory then. Don't want to talk about how he got that victory. His teammate helped him there a little bit as well. And the last win, Sebastian Vettel actually won here in the Ferrari. His last win in the Ferrari. Sad times, but I hope he gets a win in the Aston Martin, but that's probably not going to happen either. But anyway, the drivers are on the grid now, and we're seeing everybody with their choice of tyres, and quite a mixed bag. But everybody outside the top 10, apart from one driver, which is Benny, is on the mediums. On the hard, sorry. Benny's on the mediums.
Well, that is something I didn't expect. Right. Okay. Because honestly, we tend to not see the hards used really at all at the start of a race. And yeah, they're all going to go for these on the first stint. These will go a long, long way into the race. And these guys on the sauce, that means that they're going to make their pit stop so early. They're going to be caught behind these guys. You know, could lead like Antoine, Greeny, Lars, Luca. They could be all fighting up the front. Elton could be back up there again. You know, all these guys in the hards. That could really benefit them. I can't wait to see how this one plays out, because it's going to be turning the qualifying grid upside down, effectively, within about 10 laps. So, yeah, that's very interesting.
To be honest, you saying you're surprised about people going on the hards? I am not that surprised, because I've seen it quite a few times actually, where someone from near the back of the grid started on the hard compounded tyres, and I can't remember what tyre he went on to. I think it was either the medium or the soft. He went on to finish second in that race, even with a safety car as well. So anything can happen. Maybe the gods are helping them as well. Maybe they've seen the other races, alternate strategies played out as well. And the alternate strategy pole position right now is Greeny. So could he get a second podium in a row, starting 11th on the grid? Could he win the race potentially too? So yeah, Benny having a bit of a risk there, starting on the mediums, but obviously he can go a bit of the race on the mediums as well. So it's not a bad tyre to start on at least. So yeah, all three compounded tyres used in this race. And I think we're going to see 3 lots of battles. I think one's for the soft runners, and we've got obviously Antoine battling with the hard runners as well, and then the hard runners battling with each other too. So you know, should be interesting. 31 laps, it seems like a long race, but I feel like it's going to be a good race. It was one of the races of the season last season in F2. I think it's going to be probably one of the races of the season in it. Well, we don't know, because we only had one race so far, but I have a feeling it could be a good race. So I'm not going to get any predictions in. Let's get this race underway, as we're just waiting for the Mercedes to come across the line to get on this grid slot.
Yep, it's Ascom at the back of the grid. We've got the real life F1 back markers all fronting the front two rows. We've got Haas's, Alfa Romeos, we've got Williams, we've got everything. And when these 5 lights go out, the Singapore Grand Prix will be underway. Balmer on pole, McQueen on the front row with him in second. And it's lights out in Singapore. Decently long run towards turn 1. Plenty of opportunities to get into position to make a move. And you can see already, straight away, McQueen has got his one sorted. Balmer wasn't too interested in fighting that one off. No real point having an exit at turn 1 because he's going to go for it on the exit of 3 instead. And they're going to go side by side up towards turn 5. I'd be very surprised if he keeps his nose in there. Could so easily be fed into the wall, and that could let Fabian as well. Let's see what type of run the other Alfa Romeo is going to get. He's going to go alongside through Raffles Boulevard. He's going to back it up. Look how close that front 3 is. I can't believe it. It's almost as close as qualifying. And you can see they're all off. All of them off. Hadler's going to go to second place. Suki's trying to get involved. Straight into the back of Balmer goes Fabi. He's going to end up getting sucked up by the pack. Chaos to those front 3. They were all just a bit too overcommitted into turn 7, and it's costing them big time. Apart from obviously McQueen, who's held on to his lead.
Yeah, McKean are doing very well so far. Unfortunately, the guy that started 11th on alternate strategy pole position has binned it and is now in 18th position. So, commentators curse out of the way. Let's hope we don't get anything more. Anyway, M. Short is going side by side with the McLaren driver. And I think he's got the move done. Yes, he has, up into P7 as well. Antoine had a good start as well, up into 9th place on the mediums as well. Gil dropping back quite a few positions actually from where he started. So he's not having a good start either. Royal Rally not having a good start. He's down into last place. Yumpa gained a few positions on the start. So did Ascom and Benny too. Haas, I think it's going to take a while to get up to temperature, so they won't be in the pace straight away. But watch out for these soft runners. Tyres start to deteriorate very, very soon around about lap 3. This is where the medium runners could come to its own as well, as Fabi goes into the pits. And that's for damage, I believe, or is it strategy? I don't know. I think it's for damage.
Yeah, he crashed into the back of Balmer after they all went off at 7. It was a real mess, that was. And we've got another couple in the pits as well.
Yeah.
Who's this young Par, who's on his hard, so that must be damage. And also, who's that? Benny as well.
Ooh, he was on the mediums as well. He started on the mediums, so I said it would be a gamble, him starting on the mediums, but he now doesn't have much tyres for the race. I think he's probably used his one and only medium set, so you'll have to take these hards for quite a long time to go on the soft. So you never know. He pitted at lap 1 strategically last week. He went on to finish on near the podium. So the race is not over for him right now, and unfortunately we got the timing glitch again. So no, Fabi is not leading. Jan Power is not second. It's Lamborghini that's still leading in first position. No one's quite close on the track at the moment, but the DRS train will start to come alive in the next lap, and that is when the overtakes could start to happen. And these softs looks like really hard to drive right now as well. A few people looking up a little bit as well, but the front lot are starting to keep it intact right now. CC Brain off to a great start as well, continuing where his teammate left off last week too. So maybe the Renault drivers have swapped in terms of pace. Greeny having the bad luck and CC Brain having the good luck, even though CC Brain wasn't here last week, but there we go.
Right then, so we've got McQueen. He's pulled his gap, but he really used his ERS on that second lap to make sure he's clear of DRS threat, and he's managed to do that. He's a 1.2 clear paddler, who's actually also ahead of Balmer by just over a second, so no DRS there. Suki will be the first one in that leading train to get DRS. But yeah, Balmer's now got a penalty as well. I don't know if he was... What was he given that for? I don't know if that's anything to do with lap 1's content.
Warnings, exceeding track limits.
Already?
Yep.
It's a long race, man. You got to calm it down if you want to have a chance at staying in the race. You keep it that rate, you'll be getting disqualified. Look at this rear end. He's all over the shop. Obviously, we say these soft tyres like to start overheating quickly. And Balmer's showing us there with a very squirrely rear end that he's already feeling the struggle. And that's going to really encourage Suku as well. He's got a nice gap, 2.2 seconds over CC Brain. So yeah, he's only got to focus on what's ahead of him for now in the Red Bull, and that is that podium position.
It looks like Suku is doing very well on those soft tyres. Banner seems to be struggling as well. I think he's going to gain a few more temps in this lap if Banner's not careful. So Banner really needs to push before these people go into the pit lane. The predicted pit stop window, lap 4 to 6, if they want to go onto the hard tyres from the soft compounder tyres. So within the next lap, I would say for the hard tyres, people may think lap 4 is too early, or end of lap 4 is too early. It's not. You can make it to the end from here. Hards last about 28 laps on around this track, so if you get damage from now, pretty much, then you should be absolutely fine. Won't be surprised if people go for the undercut, and Banner does so, proving my theory wrong, but he's good on pace. He can save his tyres, so I won't be surprised if he does get it to the end. I'm just trying to do my math. I think it should, but it may be a bit of a push with puncture territory at the end when he gets to 70, but you know on this game how many times, if you're on 80% even, it sometimes doesn't go to puncture territory. It depends on the setup too, as Banner, he's probably going to come out ahead of some, well, he's got CC Brain as well, as also pitted. M Short too. What's that going to do with the Alfa Romeo in front? They're going to have to respond right now. They should have probably pitted. They probably didn't think they were going to pit this early, but I'm guessing they're going to have to think on their feet a little bit and pit now, because otherwise the likes of Banner and CC Brain are going to be ahead of them. The undercut works well around here. 25.5 seconds you lose in the pit lane. So the pit loss is significantly longer than some other tracks. The other longest pit lane loss. It's not on the calendar though this season though. Silverstone. That's the other track where it's around about 29-30 seconds. So Singapore being one of the longest apart from Silverstone. So, you know, they got to get a move on.
Oh, look at Antoine. He's going to be down the inside of HT Higno. Just seeing already those softs are so slow compared to the mediums. You can see Antoine climbing all over the back of him. So that's what they're all going to be feeling on those soft tires. Just that lack of grip. And that's why, as you say, the undercut is so powerful around here. And as you say, we're sort of expecting everyone to respond. And indeed, that's what's happening. Top two are into the pits. Suki will surely follow. And HRT Higno, with all that pressure, will be happy to get away from it. And will Gil start? Gil will start. So he's the last man then standing on the softs, then that would be. Yes, so at least he's got that going for him, but he is going to lose a lot of time with undercuts, surely, with all that, because he's going to have the hard runners climbing all over him at the minute. Well, let's see how these guys in the pits are doing, where they're going to come out in comparison to the likes of Balner. He's come around the final corner now, and let's see, he's used his ERS, he's gone for it, he's ahead of Suku, but he's not going to be ahead of Hadler at this stage. He's going to have to hope he's going to get a chance in the DRS. These hards will take a little bit longer to heat up due to the nature of them being the hards. So I guess if you want any opportunity to overtake, it'll be this one. But let's see. Will he have enough ERS to defend Hadler? Yes, he will, because Balner, since he used so much in the first place, he's got none to attack with. So he's got closer, but not close enough. And yeah, the top four are simply going to be staying the same.
Yes, Lamborghini getting that perfect pit stop with Hadlow as well with that undercut too. So it just shows for some of these drivers, if you pit early, then you're probably going to get rewards too as well. But yeah, I wonder where Gil's going to come out. I think Gil's going to come out.
Look at him. Like,
he's all over the road, I think. He's got the likes of Lars, who's on the hards, challenging him at the moment. These softs must be absolutely dying, and the rears are definitely overheating. I can see from the way he's controlling his car as well. I think that must be a sign for Gil to be thinking, right, why am I still on those soft tyres? He's got Elting as well, Luca, Ascom too. Is Gil going to think still out as well? Gil, what are you doing, man? I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's covering his teammate, trying to get his teammate closer as well, potentially, with Elting. I don't know, because the Constructors' Battle is still happening as well. Forgot to talk about that, but we'll talk about that as the race goes on. But yeah, is Gil wanting to go? Nah, Gil can't go on mediums. Gil can't. It's impossible.
Let's see what he does. But it does seem very odd, because now he's going to be under massive attack from Lars. I'm expecting Gil then just to shut the door, but he can't do that. He's not got the grip on the exit. Will he throw it back up the inside? No, he's not even going to do that. So what was this? What's the point? What is the point? Because look at this. Lars is going to just sprint away at the corner. It'll be a good half a second further down the road. And now he's got his teammate behind him, and suddenly he's going to be hampering his race because it is a bit more difficult to pass at this point of the track. Will he maybe be a bit more kind and let his teammate go a bit easy? Let's see. Because as KJ catches up, he has let him through, but I mean, he's still slowed him down so much in doing so. And now he's lost more time to Luca, who's got past. Ascom will be all over him. He's losing buckets of time.
Yes, if I was Gil, I would be worried right now as well. And you're pretty much... Gil's probably waiting until the end of the pit window as well, because lap 6 is pretty much the ultimate time to pit onto the hards, because otherwise your tyres are going to pretty much be gone. I know the soft last 9 laps, maybe that's what Gil was thinking about, but there's no way with the current track temperatures that these are going to last 9 laps. Gil, he's not looking comfortable at all. Is he staying out again? Yes, he is. Oh my goodness. He's maybe proving us all wrong, but his pace is a lot slower. I would say the hards are a lot faster compared to the softs right now, compared to the pace. I mean, even though the hards are like 2.4 seconds slower than the softs in pretty much equal laps, when the softs get past its sell-by date, the hards are definitely probably about 1 second quicker, which Ascom is definitely getting held up once more. I think Greeny will be on this train very soon as well, which he is. Unfortunately, the delves are mixed up between Ascom and Greeny at the moment, but let's hope they fix anytime soon. But yeah, all that's allowing is for the likes of Luca and KJ to just have a little bit of a battle to themselves, as well as the likes of, obviously, Haller and Bannon. They need to catch up to these two as well. But I don't think they'll approach Gil before they pit. So I think Gil's got to pit this lap, surely. I'm predicting Gil's going to pit now. Oh, he's struggling.
Nearly in the wall. I mean, he must have some sort of plan that we don't know about, for mediums. But come on, what's the benefit when your car is sliding about that much? He is hemorrhaging time. World Rally, he's got a penalty, mind you. Look at this free wide in front of him. He's not into this fight. He wasn't anywhere near it. And thanks to Green and Ascom getting through Gil, but it being so down so much, they've lost 3.2 seconds of the car ahead, and World Rally's now right on this. And he himself's being so down. I do wonder if Gil's even about to get a puncture. He's that slow at this point. There's no way he doesn't have a lap unless he's got some crazy scheme up his sleeves. But he should have been in a couple of laps ago. Forget the last lap. It should have been 2 or 3 ago. Let's see. He'll pit now, but it has to be mediums. If he's not going on to mediums, then questions are going to have to be asked about what on earth his strategy is. So let's see what he does. But it does feel to me they are mediums, I think. So it just feels he's lost too much time now. I don't think he's going to gain the benefits back from this.
Mediums, yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what he does. It's a gamble, absolutely. Quick pit stop. He's going to come out probably behind the umpire even as well, and Fabi as well. I mean, Fabi had that crash on lap 1 and had to change the front wing. That just tells you just how much time Gil had to lose to go for his strategy. But he's on it now. So it's all down to him now. Let's see what he can do.
Yes.
As he struggles to stay 17th and has already had contact with Benny. He's not quite fallen to the back, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel like that's going to work, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I have a feeling Gil has probably regretted his decision of staying out as well, because he's got Benny chasing him. And again, the mediums are going to take a while to warm up with the temperatures. So I think Gil's hope to get him back into this race is potentially a late safety car. If we get a late safety car, Gil could be right on this and potentially be on course to be winning it. But at the moment, no, Gil's going to be looking at no points again for a second week in a row. But at the moment, it looks like he's going to be finishing, which is better than last week where he retired on lap 2. So, he's doing better than last week. But it is a shame, of course. It's his second... I'm trying to think when he started playing on the wheel, but he hasn't been on the pad, obviously. He's on the wheel, that's why he's in F2. He doesn't seem to be quite adapting the way he would have liked, but it does take a while. I've had experience, so maybe in a few races' time we can see Gil back to his usual form, but for now he's going to probably get used to staying near the back. As well, Rally pits now. That's front wing damage, so this race has gone from bad to worse for Royal Rally, but he's on the mediums though. Same strategy now as Gil, down in 17th.
Yeah, speaking of the mediums then, race leader, Antoine, 6 seconds now clear of Lars. So this is sort of why I was expecting more to do the medium strategy, because these should last long enough. Because my worry would be, if I started on the mediums, I would be caught by, if I was starting on the hards, my worry would be getting caught by the people who had made their first pit stops. And Lam McQueen is now only 4.5 seconds behind Greeny. So they'll start being caught up. Antoine's not going to get caught up at any point. He just has to road to himself. And that's sort of why I'm surprised. But I maybe there's more sort of long-term benefits. I don't race in the game anymore, so I'm not the best in the know, but that's sort of why I would be thinking starting mediums, and Antoine's sort of proving it. He's pulling away quite comfortably, and he just has a nice cushion at the minute.
Yeah, I think I was speaking to a few drivers in our team chat we race in F1 as well, and they've been saying as well, for the more durable strategy and the more strategy that's going to work, mediums to hards. But if they start outside the top 10, hard to medium will probably be the best strat, or hard to soft. So that's maybe what Antoine is thinking, obviously, because he's a lot faster compared to the hard runners right now. Maybe he can get that cushion and maybe that pit stop gap, and then he can still come out, I would say, potentially still in the top 10, which could still be good. I think he's aiming for points still in this race, so, and it's not over yet. So, he may be playing this strategy quite well if he's on the medium tires as well. I believe he started 10th on the road. He actually qualified on medium, so that could be strategy masterclass or strategy disaster class for him, but, we won't know.
Think about it this way. I mean, Gil is trying soft to mediums. We're assuming, maybe it's too soft for him, but would Antoine maybe think of trying the same thing? Soft tires at the end of the race are going to be much better than soft tires at the start of the race. They won't overheat as much. You'll have a much lighter car. But at the minute, he's making enough gap that he can even go on hards anyway and still sort of mix in with the other hard runners. So either way, having this cushion means he has a chance of going for the faster tire at the end and having a good opportunity to make that work, or to stick on the same tire as everyone else who had already pitted for the first time and be quicker than them anyway because they'll still be newer. It just gives him options. It gives him options. This gap is really useful for him. He'll be hoping there's no sort of safety cars to get in the way of that at the minute, I think. At least not at this stage.
I think Antoine is hoping for no safety car. Gil is hoping for a safety car. So Antoine is just cruising on at the moment. I think he's keeping that gap around about 6 seconds all the time. We're not seeing any battles happening at this stage. The closest battle potential we've got is between Luca and Elti for third place. The podium spots at this stage, but they still have to pit, obviously, for the softs or the mediums. I don't know what tires they're going to go on
Antoine's pitting now, so he's going to go for the hards, Antoine. Okay, so it was one or the other. He's gone for the other. Or is it a two-stop strategy? I doubt it's two-stop, but let's see what he's going to do.
I won't be surprised if he goes on the hards.
There's a two-stop. It's a two-stop. Okay, it's more mediums. I like that.
Could
That's
it be
aggressive.
rain then?
Well, let's see. It could be rain. That could be why they've all started on the hards. But, right. Oh, I hate trying to predict strategy because I've already got it wrong twice in the last lap. But
Me too.
okay. He's on the two mediums. It's at the very least a two-stop because obviously you have to change tyres again, whether it's for intermediates or whether it's for softs. That'll be what he's on at the end, I assume. Right? He should be pretty quick anyway. Right? He'll be pretty quick. These are new mediums against older hards. He was doing pretty well on the same age mediums compared to the same age hards. So he should be pretty quick right here. We've seen Gil, he's close to 5-second gap in only a couple of laps to Fabio, and now he's going past him. So we expect stuff like that from Antoine. He should start, hopefully, getting through the grid. So he's going to go for the aggressive approach. We don't see that enough these days. It's having conversated on a whole few seasons of F1 where no one's been aggressive once on the strategy. They've all thought, I must go for esports level. I'm seeing something exciting. Let's go, Antoine.
I like Antoine's choice of strategy, actually. It just makes things exciting. They can push more as well. That's why I think they should do move more two stops like in real life. In Bahrain, obviously, in last week in real life, we saw a two stop, maybe three stop strategy. Could we see that in 50% races in the next game? We'll see as Antoine gets past M Short as. Oh no, Ascon's left the session. He's in 4th place at the moment. That's not good. On track at least, but it's not a net P4. Net P4 is Suku in the Red Bull. Leading the race, net race lead is Lamborghini in the Alfa Romeo. The one I was predicting, the team who I was predicting to potentially do well in the Constructors. He's doing well, but his teammate's not down in 15th. But he's still catching up to. He's losing a bit of time to Gil, but I think World Rally could catch up to him as well. So looks like Fabi is having a much worse race than Gil at this point. So it's going to be a miracle for him in order to have a much better race. But we're starting to see more people catch up on the hard strategy as well between Lars and KJ as well. I wonder what they'll be thinking for the pit as Antoine gets past CC Brain. Greeny gets past Ascon for 4th place, because obviously Ascon was disconnected. Then Lamborghini's going to do the same. Yes, he is. So, yeah. Right. I wonder what Lars and KJ are going to do.
Well, this is it. Yeah, they've got a decision to make now. Do they just stay? Because they're good. If they stay for long enough, they'll be able to stick softs on at the end. But I don't know. Do they want to even just go for mediums and just make sure they have tires don't overheat at the end, or will they stay out and wait for this rain that we keep saying might or might not happen? We don't really know. But yeah, as to options they've got. Just seeing Antoine, he's obviously got by CC Brain now as well. He's about 10 seconds off La McQueen. Yeah, because he'll need to be catching up to him pretty soon. He'll need to be in a sort of position where he's able to catch him, because he'll fall another 20-odd seconds behind him if he has to make another stop while everyone else doesn't, which is what we'd expect in a dry race. But if it rains, obviously they'll all have to pit again. But yeah, he's just got to get his pedal to the metal, as they say. He's just got to floor it. Pretty much. I don't know what he's going to do. We really can't predict where he's going to finish. He's back where he started. He's P10, and he's starting looking at making some more passes. So either way, this looks like it's already working out well for him.
I think he wouldn't have pitted for another set of mediums if he wasn't confident that he was going to do it well and get past these people. So I brave that strategy from Antoine as well. I think it won't be long before he gets past Suku. Meanwhile, our net race leader, gets past Greeny, so he only has to overtake 3 more cars and he'll be in the lead of this race as Haller gets past Ascom for P6 as well. Antoine already about 1.5 seconds behind Suku as well, but this is going to be interesting. Antoine's going to probably catch up to the likes of Suku and maybe Banner as well, who are fighting as well. This could get very, very tasty if drivers on different strategies. Will some of the drivers let the fresher tyres through, or because they know Antoine has to pit, or will they go aggressive? I hope they go aggressive, please. And I think Antoine is definitely going to push to try and get past these guys, because if Antoine gets past Sucre and Malna, he'll be up to P7 and maybe he could get up to P6 as well. He could gain a lot of positions from here as well, as he's already gaining so much time. The difference between the mediums and the hards is huge, especially if you're on fresher medium. So I think he's going to get him, I think, at the start-finish straight when he has DRS, of course. In particular, I think toward the run towards turn 4 to 7, I think we'll watch out for him as well. So heading towards the final corner. Let's see what Antoine does then with his ERS. He's on 44, Suku's on 33, so they're pretty even. Antoine not close enough to get the move on this pass then, with no DRS, of course. So I think he's getting a much better run on Suku in this corner than compared to the Red Bull. So I think this could be an easy pass for him. Banner's already pulling away, look. That's how much Suku's struggling. So this is going to be the run Antoine's looking for. Easy does it, goes Antoine. Even though he's got little ERS compared to the Red Bull, he gets past him up into 8th place. And next stop is Banner. That should be another easy pass for him. So yeah, good job from Antoine at the moment. And I think it's a question of when for him at the moment rather than if.
Yeah, he's got to catch up then to Banner. Nice when he get in the next DRS zone, which is he's into it now already, actually, because the section point comes under the bridge here, and so we'll get that next DRS zone. Banner will not, and then he'll have so much more grip in this final sector on these near tires that he should be in a position, just like we saw with Suku, just to easily pull past him. No need to be, over ambitious on these tires, because he's already got enough grip and he's got enough confidence in himself just to make a clean pass every time. Oh, but that's unnecessary.
Oh, no.
Getting the penalty. That's the one thing he doesn't need to do.
Yes.
But he still has the pace, but it's just the penalty. Why? It's always when it's a dramatic strategy call or an interesting strategy call, you then go and mess up with a penalty, but it's only 3 seconds. Same, you can't take this in the pit stops or anything, but yeah, let's see. Look at the run he's going to have on Balner in towards turn 1. He'll still make really good progress. It's not like he's going to, suddenly be out of the race with that penalty. He's just got to get his foot down even harder. He's now at the P7. His teammate up next. I wonder how he's going to treat him. If it's going to be sort of a kind one like Balner, who just sort of slowed down and let him through. Or if it's going to be a more hardcore fight. I reckon it'd be more of the sort of let him through and get on with your own race type situation, but we'll see. Top 3, by the way, Lars, KJ and Luca, they're still nice and close. They're just sort of following each other around. They're not really too interested. Luca's got plenty of ERS saved up, so he's probably going to try and undercut, I reckon, and then pass them that way with his ERS in the outlap. It just depends what they're going to do to on strategy. We still don't really know what they're going to do, whether they're going to go for mediums or softs. I'd imagine mediums, but softs, yeah, you never know. Someone might try softs. And we don't think there's any ruin coming yet. So, yeah, let's just wait and see what they do. Llama Queen are 3.7 behind them. So they do have a little bit of time before they have to sort of worry about quicker cars catching up. And Antoine, look at that. He's already straight into the DRS Ranger handler. He is just so quick.
I was not expecting him to do this. I mean, the alternate strategy that Antoine is pulling, well, he's not even an alternate strategy. It's a completely different strategy in himself as well. So he's one of the new drivers in this league. Last week he was only reserve, and he didn't think he was going to be full-time. This week is his first week as a full-time driver. Maybe he's using that as motivation, and he's going to get points on his debut race as a full-time driver, potentially, if he could keep this pace up as well. And I think Hadler may do the same thing to what Gill did earlier, but I don't know. It's going to be a very, very tough call. I wonder if they're still going to be fighting with each other, as look at that, Antoine's already quicker on this straight compared to Hadler, and Hadler no challenge there. So teammates letting each other through, which is a good strategy to be in, because you don't want to be the cause of your teammate in the wall and you'll be going into the stewards. So it looks like those two teammates get on very, very well already. It's important to have a good relationship with your teammates. So Antoine doing well to help is Williams' compactor. Obviously Joey banned from the league, and Antoine being a good replacement at the moment so far, but he's the one who started in 10th position. Greeny, on the other hand, is going to be the next person. He's already caught up to Greeny. He's just insane right now at the moment. But I'm just thinking, if the guys on the hards at the front decide to go onto the mediums, they need to pit, I would say, very, very soon. Lap 20, I would say, would be to pit on the mediums. And if they want to go on the softs, I would say, I'm just trying to do maths, lap 27. Yeah, lap 27 if they want to pit for softs. So, but the hards, they do tend to run out very, very quickly. Hards run 28 laps. If I were them, going on the mediums potentially, but we shall see. As the top three, they're still not making some moves at the moment, but Antoine is going for it again, and I think it's going to be another pass into the DRS straight, and the next DRS straight heading towards turn 5 to 7. That is where he's going to make his move once again. He's doing a like Max Verstappen climb through the field at the moment. I think that's what he's doing, so fair play to him. As, Young Power's got a penalty. His race has gone from bad to worse at this point, hasn't it? He was winning last week, and he's not going to score any points this week. But here comes Antoine once again, and that's another place gained for him, up into 5th place now.
Right, and so he's halved the gap to Lamaquina while he's been passing all of those cars. And so, well, it's pretty clear what his next target would be then. It'll be interesting to see if he catches Lamaquina before his next pit stop, actually, because obviously he's got to think about when he makes that. Will he do it in about 5 laps' time and put some softs on, maybe a little bit longer than 5 laps? He's just going to make sure he chooses the right moment. I wonder if he'll try and catch up to Lamaquina, and as soon as he does that, then pull in. But either way, it's a pretty nice spot behind Gill. He might be already sort of eyeing up for when he pits for clean air. Just sort of thinking where he will end up, but yeah, let's see where he'll end up. At the minute, he's got enough pace to pull away nicely, so he'll be in free air for a bit, and we'll have time to think about what he does next. But yeah, he's done the hard bit now, I'd say. For this stint in particular, I have to do it again in the next stint, I'd imagine. But yeah, overtaking. He's proven it can happen in F1 cars. There you go. For those who say it can't happen, it's just happened. And Lamaquina has now got a penalty of his own. So that might encourage Antoine just a little bit more. I don't know if he's looking at the win, mind you, Antoine, but either way, you'll be happy to see other people around him getting penalties.
We got 7 drivers scoring penalties so far. All of them got 3 seconds. No one getting 6 seconds, which is good. But I'm sure a few people will be on a few warnings at the moment. So these drivers, I think, are being warned to not exceed the track limits too much. And a few things to watch out for as well that we forgot to point out in the steward's briefing that the drivers got before the race. If they track extend or corner cut turns 22 and 23, they will be penalised, as Hadler and Greeny are going for the move. Hadler up into 6th place. We've got Suku and Banner. It's going to be an on-track position, almost into the wall there goes, I think, one of those cars there. But I think Banner just holds on. Suku, I think, probably wanting to get past Banner, but I think, and we know Banner is so much quicker. Banner getting pole position around here. But Suku, I think he's trying to manage his tyres a little bit more as well, and he's got Greeny for company as well. Greeny will need to pit in the next few laps, whereas these two don't, so they'll need to get past Greeny ASAP. But that was a nice battle there as well, almost into the wall there. That could have been very worse for one or both of these drivers if they didn't pull off the move, but luckily no damage, I don't think, so they're going to carry on for the rest of the race. And I did see, I think, a battle up near the front as well, but that didn't materialise either. We got a train from Gill, M Short, Ascom as well. We got the train up the front as well. They're just trains everywhere.
Well, like I say, the thing for me now, as you see, Llama Queen has now caught this leading three. And like I say, that might be what triggers their pit stops. They don't want to lose time to Llama Queen when he starts catching up to them. But if Llama Queen starts to slow down, so he doesn't catch them, pass them, then that'll obviously help Antoine catch a little bit more. So this is where we see this sort of next phase of the race begin, I think. See what they're all going to do next, because this is where it gets a little bit sort of difficult. A too close for comfort, I'd imagine, for Llama Queen. Just has to keep his cool at the minute. But I do reckon, like I say, Luca most likely will be the first one in, because he has got so much more ERS. He'll be able to make this undercut on KJ and Lars pretty easily if he did an undercut. And look at Elting. KJ losing his rear end, and he's all over the show, nearly putting it in the wall, having a big lockup as well. So yeah, they are struggling on those hards a little bit, and that might, like I say, sort of trigger the pit stops, but we'll see what happens anyway. Antoine now over 4 seconds clear of his own teammate. So, I mean, that's how quick he is on these sets of tyres. Just imagine what he's going to be like on the next set of tyres. He's going to be absolutely flying along, quicker than any other car on track by some margin as it stands. Apart from, of course, the other hard runners should be pitting around for, I imagine, the same sort of idea at the end of the race. But let's see. Will any of these top 3 blink then? Because they have to pit at some point. They can't sit on these tyres all day. No, not yet. So Llama Queen just going to have to sit there and be patient. Unless, of course, he wants to actually start passing them, which is quite risky. But let's see what he does.
Yeah, I wonder if Antoine is going to go on the same strategy to what Luca, KJ and Lars are doing, or will Antoine just go on to the softs? Well, Antoine has more flexibility. His tyres could go pretty much, I think, to around 16 laps.
Raining. It's raining.
It's raining.
So, there we go. That is rain then. So that's why those front 3 were waiting. And that's why Llama Queen is now realising he's got to get by Luca. And so that is a fight for the lead then. And it does mean that Lars, as long as he keeps his thing on the road for a bit, is the leader of this race. And Antoine, with such quick tyres at the minute, should be able to catch up onto this train, and it should make it a 5-car scrap for this win. But obviously, this is the most difficult part of the race now. As the track starts to get wet, it's such a long lap right here. If you choose the wrong lap to pit on, it's going to cost you big time. So you've really got to judge this right and keep it out of the wall.
That is why Antoine decided to go on to another set of mediums. It's not due to the fact he wanted to take the gamble. He knew it was going to rain in the final third of the race. So I have to say, strategy masterclass for Antoine. He could be on for a podium position here as well. And good strategy call for the top 3. That's probably why they went on the hards as well. So if I was the likes of Lamborghini and Hadler, I'll be worried. Gill could be back in this race as well. The likes of CC Brain as well. Ascom could be back in this too as well. Literally anything could happen. And we got the 2 Mercedes fighting, and this is where everybody, I think, is going to push to get positions on track, because whenever they do that, that will lead their position when they get out of the pit lane, apart from if you're the 2 Mercedes drivers, because the double stacking does not work on this game.
It is worth pointing out, though, that it might take a while for this track to get wet enough for the inters. I mean, if it keeps spitting like this, we're never going to see the intermediates. So, you know, it's not going to be instant, this pistol. We could be 2, 3, 4, even 5 laps away from this. And I think that's sort of why Antoine's done this sort of strategy, just for a bit of insurance. So that if it isn't wet enough, he can still go for softs at the end. Because that is going to be so difficult. Just judging when you pit, because right now, this is nowhere near intermediate territory. And
no.
How do you race? How do you think about this? You know, what do they do? It is so difficult to decide in this situation. We've still got 11 laps to go in this race, including one we're on right now. So it's a long way to go at the minute. And yeah, like I say, a lot of careful driving having to be done now, and a lot of calculated pit stop stuff. We'll see what they do. But it is... I can't predict it. I'm glad I'm not driving. I wouldn't know what to do in this situation.
I had a similar situation a few weeks ago when I was racing in Singapore where it started off dry and it started raining and it took, I think, about 7 or 8 laps to really start getting into the right state of mind, right, thinking, right, I need to go onto these intermediate tyres. So, yeah, that's what I think that's going to be a similar situation here because the track is still dry enough for these slick tyres. So maybe that's probably why Lamborghini has decided to... obviously, they had to start on the softs anyway. That's why they probably went for the softs. So we literally don't know what's going to happen as well. If there was no rain, they would have gone. I think I would say they would have gone for the mediums because otherwise the hards would have struggled. The hards are going to be an absolute nightmare with these cooler conditions as well. So they need to warm up their tyres on the lap as well. But yeah, don't you dare go to F1 at the moment. We've still got crazy strategies going on at the moment. This is the place to be on a Monday night. F2, make sure you stay for F2 for these final 9 laps or so. This could get very, very spicy. We don't know who's going to win this race, just like last week. That's what F2 is for you. Handler, though, his nearest car off the road is Greeny. I don't think he's going to get a double stat from his own teammate, though, is he? Or is the game going to be mean and probably getting held up in the pits anyway? But I hope not. I think the Williams drivers and the Mercedes, I think, are going to be the ones that fall victim. The Renault drivers as well. I think everyone else should be fine when they go into the pits. Or could it be that this could be the rain that we see the whole Grand Prix?
Young par, that is
brave.
Intermediates, that is a bit early, potentially, as Benny gets by World Rally. But we'll keep our eye on his pace. I don't imagine he'll have any, but it's an indication for everyone else, just it's a bit early for these tyres as Young Par exits the pit lane and has gone straight across the white line and is probably regretting this decision already. But look at this then, top 5 different constructors, just like last week. We're seeing plenty of variety in the teams at the front. And we're going to see which one of them decides to blink first on the tyres, which one of them comes out on top. Of course, 2 of them have penalties, being Lamborghini and Antoine. How much is that going to cost them at the end of this race? How are Antoine's medium compound tyres going to hold up? Because it might take a while for he pits. Suku, he's gone past Balner, and Balner's cutting all the corners, and he's also ghosted as well. He's been in the wall as well. It's all gone wrong for him on this lap. The man who said it on pole earlier, and I think he's given up. But he has.
Oh.
So yeah, that's his race over. First retirement of the day, and let's have a little look at Young Par. Let's just see how he's getting on. It doesn't look very good, does it? Unfortunately, there's no.
It's still dry. It's still dry.
It's bone dry.
There's no wet patches on the track. I think Young Par's regretted this. Yeah.
If he's not careful, he'll get lapped, and that's not a funny thing or anything. That's going to be the top 5 who are this close, getting involved with a back marker. Ooh, you don't want that, especially when they're on the complete wrong tire. So honestly, I read. Oh, his teammate's gone for them as well. Both McLarens are on the intermediates. It's too early for them at the moment.
Yeah,
let's see. Young Par was 29.2 seconds down in that middle sector. Let's see how much is added to that in the final sector. I reckon it'll be about another 15 seconds of this rate. He's going to spin if he's not careful. He's added a bit more time. Not quite as I sort of suspected, but it's enough for where he might find himself lapped, and his teammates right in front of him as well. It's just not time for injuries. It looks like it's getting closer, but it's not there yet. No way. And look at that. Lars has made a second on KJ. That could be crucial for him, because obviously KJ will not get the DRS, and we've said many times about how much ERS Luke has been saving. I wonder if he might fancy taking his opportunity and going for second place as it stands. We'll keep our eye on it. Young Par loses 4 seconds again in the first sector on his best.
Yeah.
Oh, he's nearly on the wall as well. He will be caught. I do think he will be caught at this rate by his leaders. I hope not, though. Let's see actually what Lars loses for this first sector, and Luca as well. Maybe they're all going around similar-ish pace. Maybe it's being overstated. Luca's only 6/10 down on his best, so they're catching 3 seconds in that first sector. So it's just not ready yet. It simply is not ready yet.
Yeah,
but it is getting close.
I think it is getting close. There's still a bit of wet patches, but not quite enough. And the way this is going, Lars could get his first win in F2 and only his second race in F2. The last race he's actually won was back in F3 in the last round, actually, last season in Japan. He probably was not expecting this sort of thing to happen as well. And the gap, he's keeping the gap stable between him and Elting at the moment. So,
look at Lamaquina though, he's going to get past. He's going to go on the outside. DRS still enabled, of course, so you can still race quite well. But look out for Antoine when there's contact there. Not quite in a position to get involved, and that's taken Luca now out of the DRS range of KJ. He's going to try and get back in, and he's succeeded, but they're so close out there. They are so close. Rain still getting heavier, and we've still got, what, 6-7 laps to go. So, I don't think we're going to see anyone else in the pitch yet, but it is starting to get really, really difficult out there. Leader stays out. KJ as well, second place stays out. Luca too. Lamaquina, they're all staying out. Antoine too. Hadler is now catching this train as well. He hasn't got any penalties, so it's very much in his interest to be on that train at the end of this race. I wonder if he might sort of be spurred on to try something different as Lamaquina picks up another penalty. Because he might, Hadler, be the one to make the big decision and maybe try undercutting these guys if he picks his interest at the right time. As Lamaquina finally gets by Luca around the outside of 5. And will Antoine try and follow him through? Obviously, you're fighting guys with penalties, Luca, so might not fight them as hard because it, you know, when's he going to think, okay, the win's not there anymore, let's just make sure I get the podium. But yeah, it certainly is looking much, much heavier now, this rain. It's getting to the point where they will be starting to consider it, this change for inters.
Yes, I think more people are getting penalties because of it as well. And one thing to mention that I pointed out at the beginning of the stream as well, even though Lars will get it on the track with no penalties in game if he wins the race, he won't get it outright because he's still got a penalty, up due to his incident from the last race. He actually got he got 10 seconds altogether, 5 seconds from one incident and 5 seconds for another. So he's going to lose 10 seconds as well, so he's got to get a 10
hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, 10-second gap, one for the instant on lap 18 last week, one on lap 42, so I think that was both with Fabi as well. So yeah, I almost forgot about that until I looked at my notes just now. So scrap that. Lars is not going to win this race. Your net race leader at the moment is the one that got it outright last week, but due to penalties he didn't. It's KJ Elting at the moment, so this could be his actual first race win of the season. So now that's 13 seconds now for him. Lars.
Well, at least now he's got a penalty in this race, so he doesn't cross the line thinking, oh, I actually won that legit on track, you know? Oh, he's nearly lost it again. Okay, this track is now starting to get a bit slippery, isn't it? That is very slidey from the Haas driver there. And I'm nervous for them watching now. This is so slippery, and we've got Renaults as well, really slow out there. We've got
Greeny
really struggling with Suko. He's got CC Brain behind him. Headers now, Gil, Fabi, Ascom all in the pits. Is it for interest for each of them? I believe it has to be, really, doesn't it? Why else would you be in at this stage? And it is interest for all of them. Is Suku trying to get by Greeny? It'll be a difficult move in these conditions, and they're both going to go off the track. And Suku's going to get a penalty for it. And now CC Brain's going to go up the inside. He's going to hit his own teammate and Suku as well. It's double trouble for him. And he's got no front wing damage, but that's going to help M Short in. And yeah, like I say, I wouldn't like to be the guys driving out there. That is difficult. And you can see Antoine is into Luca. Luca's in the wall. Antoine, I don't know if we actually hit him or not, but he hasn't got any front wing damage, Antoine. But Luca's been off. No damage for him either. Might have just spun on the traction, frankly, because there won't be much on those old hard tires on a cold, wet track.
They could go longer than 28 laps.
No! Look at Lamaquina. He's put Eltink in the wall. I think at least it was definitely contact, but it was Lamaquina that got the damage in the end. I wonder if they're going to pit now. Lars is into the pit lane.
They've got to.
Eltink in. Lamaquina
stays out. No.
Well.
You can't cut the pit lane. And I wonder if he was going to go to the pits and then he realised, I should have gone. But you can't cut the pit lane, otherwise you'll get a penalty. So
I think Eltink's taking a front wing. I think he's still going to take a front wing, Eltink. So he is going to fall out of contention. Who's going to win this race? I really have no idea.
This is going to be exciting.
I mentioned Hadler earlier, but he stayed out. Hadler also stayed out. So he might have been one to take advantage of all this, but he stayed out. We don't know if the
So
leaders have been the
CC
right time to
Brain
pit,
as
mind
well,
you.
M Short, they're staying out.
We just don't know who's made the right choice. Luca could still be in this one yet, you know, despite that incident he had. I just don't know who's... Let's just wait and see. Let's wait until everyone's on their tires. I wonder if the leaders are just going to stay out. There's only 5 laps. Do you reckon...
Ooh.
Do you reckon they might just stay out? They're on hard compound tyres, a dreadful tyre, but the gap, Lars, is currently 25 seconds behind La McQueen. That's quite big.
Yes, so I because the ones who had to pit, they were on the hard tyres at the start of the race.
Yeah, obviously they pitted because they had to pit, yeah. These guys obviously don't, but it's La McQueen with a broken front wing. Maybe Hadler is in the right position. He's got no penalties in the net race lead by a long way, actually, Hadler.
M Short as well. Could be on for podium.
Yeah, it looks like Hadler, because he's got 15 seconds to CC behind. It does feel a bit now like it's actually become Hadler's race to lose, because if La McQueen is down, there's no way he'll be able to keep up with the pace of Hadler. And as long as Hadler stays within, what, 6 seconds, he wins this race. And that's not quite something you would have expected from where we were looking about 5 minutes ago. But, yeah, that does appear to be the situation. Lars, he's not catching very much. He's only caught by 2 seconds. That's not enough. There's 4 to go. He needs to be catching, at this stage, about 7 seconds a lap. But even at that, he's going to have loads of penalties to take on anyway. And he's going to have to overtake people. So I think they're just going to stay out, those hard runners. What's the point in pitting now? Let's just go to the end. They're long laps, as I say. CC Brain's decided he's not going to stay out, actually. They're long laps. But there's only 4 of them. It will be close, but yeah, if I'm in Hadler's shoes, definitely stay out.
Yeah, I think Hadler has no other choice as well, because otherwise he's going to lose so much time as well. And we haven't even seen the DRS disable sign yet, so I think this could be the rain we see the whole race up potentially as well. We've got CC Brain coming out of the pits. Maybe he can catch up to his teammate as well. But yeah, more penalties from these drivers as well. And Lars is going to drop way down with the 10-second penalty plus the 3 seconds he's got as well. He'll be out of the points. With CC Brain pitting, I wonder if that's the right decision for him, but we don't know. We don't know what the right decision to be now. Lam McQueen's job now is to pull that gap. Let me see what penalties he's got. He's on 9 seconds. That's going to be a tall order. Yeah.
Just got another one there. We've got yellow flags ahead. McLaren of Yompar. Now they're very close, those 2 McLarens. I hope they haven't actually come together, those 2.
I hope not.
But either way, Yompar calls the yellow flag. It was him slow. I don't think either of them actually have any damage. I think they've just sort of been slow. World Rally's put some softs on.
Are you sure about that, World Rally?
Well, I mean, we've already established that those inters aren't that fast. So maybe World Rally still would have better pace than them on this tyre. As we see a car in the walls, a Haas. It has to be Lars, and it is Lars.
It is.
And he, again, no damage, but he has obviously slowed down a lot. So yeah, those inters aren't that good yet. Yeah, and the time really is running out now for them to be good. So yeah, World Rally might actually still be a bit quicker. And obviously those front three, I don't think they've got any reason to pit. I think from the evidence we've got at the minute, stay out. It could completely tip it down the last couple of laps, but even at that point, it's worth it for those front 2 because they've still got 25 seconds. What they've got to do is not crash. Hadler, here he goes for the race lead now. Passing the damaged McQueen. He hasn't just got it on penalties, he's got it on track as well, and that's the way you want to do it properly. And Hadler is into the lead in his Williams.
I don't think he's won a race, I think, at all in the PSGL before. This could be his first ever win. And he was close to getting one, I think, in Monza season 26, but where he basically got P2 because loads of people got penalties. But he's actually going to get it on the road as well. Lamborghini, I think, is going to still get P2 due to M Short being 15 seconds down the road anyway. So, pretty much the top 3 is pretty much going to stay as it is now. And what's going to happen for the other drivers? I think the crucial factor is, how is Benny going to catch up? If Benny catches up to these intermediate runners, I think the Inters have done the wrong thing. Well, they have to pit anyway. Maybe they could have gone to the mediums or the softs. We don't know. But we got a few more laps to go of this race. DRS disabled. Oh, the race has turned on its head now. I like it. I like it.
Look at Kato, straight by Benny now. And he's up into 6th place. And you can see, yeah, World Rally's now binned it. Or is he in the pit lane? I hope he's in the pit lane. He is in the pit lane. Good stuff. Because I was worried it was going to put a safety car out there and ruin it. But, nah, now we have to really see these two at the front. Oh, Hadler's not pitting, is he? He's pitting.
No, Hadler.
What's he doing that for? He's got 22 seconds to Antoine. So, this is interesting. Will Lamaquina be able to hold the gap? I don't know. If I were Hadler, I would have just stuck with it. You'll be slow. You'll be really slow. But I'd still fancy my chances in Lamaquina's situation, who is now back into the lead of this race. But it has to be said, Hadler was on a quicker tyre for the last few laps. So it's not like he's going to lose that much time. He will still come out, probably will he beat Benny out of the pits? He should do. Yeah, he has done. So he's out into 7th place. It's just about whether those front two. Look at that.
We got
you can see Lars and Antoine steaming past Ensure. So, to win this race, Antoine is going to have to close to 6 seconds. He's got to find 8 seconds in these next 2 laps. And if he does that, he wins the race.
On debut.
On debut as a full-timer. Lars is not really in the picture because of his multitude of penalties. M Short is falling down the field now.
Okay,
and you know what? Antoine is closing the gap down. Maybe it was right for Hadler to pit because it has happened. That track has been soaked. I said it might happen. I didn't think it would. And Benny's now put it in. Benny has put it in the wall. This is the one time I didn't want to be right because it's kind of sad to see these people who stuck it out have it taken away. But Lamaquina, it's a full wet track and he's sat on dries. It's practically a monsoon now. What on earth happened?
He just rained that quickly.
Look at it. It's a typhoon now. I don't know if even the Inters are going to make it to the end of this one at this rate. They're all going to have to be on their toes with this. We've lost our gaps, unfortunately, because someone's DC'd. But Antoine's nearly spinning off as well. Jesus. What are they going to do? Surely you can't pit for wets now, can you?
Nah.
I mean, we've now got there's both of them. Was that 2 Renaults off? They're both struggling at the same corner. Greeny's lost half his front wing. Lamaquina has stayed out, folks. He has stayed out. Final lap of the race, and it's practically, like I say, it's a full wet track. He's done 29 seconds off the pace on that last lap, and Antoine has just taken the net race lead. But this is not over yet because it's a full wet track. They're all on the wrong tyre, all of them. If they can all keep on the road, that'd be pretty impressive. It's gonna have to be, seriously, the calmest last lap of Antoine's life if he can try and get this victory, and that's not as easy as it sounds. But it's an easier task than Lamaquina anyway. But I can't call this. I can't call this because you know what? In the first sector, they were pretty much equal.
I know.
They're pretty much equal, those two, because they're both just too slow.
My goodness.
I just can't call it. I cannot. Call it. Antoine's going to be careful he doesn't pick up another penalty as well, of course.
If Lamaquina gets a win out of all that on track, fair play. Like, he's done so well apart from the penalties that he's got. No one's on the right tyres. We've seen a crazy end to the race in Bahrain last week. We're seeing a crazy race to the end here as well. We just get 2 crazy ends to the race in the row. It was quiet for most of it, and then it started to spice things up towards the end. Greeny's struggling. On those inters.
I've got to say Hadler, though.
Hadler did the right thing.
I don't know. He could have pitted for wets. He'll be sitting there thinking, if I just realised this was a typhoon, he could have been on the winning tyre now because he hasn't got any penalties. KJ's into the wall. He's put it in the wall.
Oh, no.
But, we'll see the gaps at the end, but I think you'll find Hadler will end up being quite close to this win. But, he could have, just one different tyre could have changed it all. But as it stands, let's just quickly check the penalties again just to make sure we're all on the right track. It's 9 seconds for Lamaquina and it's 3 seconds for Antoine. And that means that when Lamaquina comes around this final corner, he will see the checkered flag, he will cross the line first, but he will finish second. Let's just confirm it. Antoine across the line. His first race as a full-timer. It's first win as well. Brilliant drive. Lars will fall down by 10 seconds, so that means Llama Queen will still end up second. Hadler's going to get by L-Tank, who's got half a front wing, and he'll finish fifth. Lucas in fourth. He'll move up to third now. He gets onto the podium. Hadler will be fourth, and L-Tank, I think, will fall down. He had penalties, didn't he? Or did he actually? He might not have had penalties. He might even fall down. It might even be Lars sixth, but we'll confirm it all after the race once we have a proper look at it. But Antoine then. Well, it wasn't quite the way I thought he would do it. We all thought his aggressive strategy would work. Not quite this well, though. And not quite in this situation. Typhoon conditions. Not a single driver out there on this last lap on the right tyre. Something that I've never seen this before. And what an ending it gave us. Hope you all enjoyed sticking by and watching the F2 stream, the best stream in the world. Who needs the F1? Imagine leaving this to go watch an F1 qualifying session, you know?
You probably would have they probably would have regretted it now, not seeing the ending of that, because it was like bone dry, we're just wet, and then it just went to like this in like a lap. That's just crazy. But Antoine did the right strategy. Can you like read each other's minds or something? The weatherman, I don't know, but.
Well, look at it. The rain's got lighter now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
The rain's got lighter. It's just like, right, let's just spice up for the end. And Young Power is still all over the road. The race is still going on. The McLarens are just that far behind, unfortunately.
Shame for Young Power.
The rain is way lighter now.
What is going on?
The weather's having all sorts of mood swings today, but it doesn't really matter. Antoine's on his own lap. He doesn't care. He is the race winner by 0.2 of a second. Just as close as last week's was, and I don't think anyone could have really predicted that one here, but there you go. 2 weeks in a row, 2 swaps for the lead on the last lap, and Antoine, deservedly the driver today, he made that strategy work from qualifying in the top 10 on those mediums. What a drive that was. He's nailed everything today. Fully deserved victory, that.
Yeah, he was close to getting points last week. He was doing very well battling with the midfield last week, but this week he did the lap needed on the mediums and he got the win. So someone I said to watch out for, and he did. So the Williams team will be very happy with that as well. And Williams, I think, are going to be probably leading the. I don't even know if Williams are going to lead the constructors. I think they might, because for the first time for a while we got 2 Williams cars in the top 10, so yeah, I think Williams will be leading the constructors. So I think it'll be Antoine that wins, McKean second, Luca in third, then we got Haller fourth, Eltink in fifth, and then we got Lars in sixth, is that right?
Well, if you're right about the penalty, then yes.
Yeah, because obviously the 3 seconds has already been applied, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Lars will be sixth, M Short will be seventh, and then it's CC Brain, Gil, and then Fabi, and then we got Suku, Benny, Greeny, Ascom, and then we've got the 2 McLaren 15th and 16th, and your 2 retirements are World Valley and Ballina. The maths was not as hard as I thought. We eventually got there, so yeah.
Fine in the end. Right, shall we try and get some people in for some interviews then? Because I have a feeling that they'll all have plenty to say about the end of the race.
They weren't expecting. I think they probably won't be expecting as much as we were, to be honest. So yeah, we'll try and get them in.
I'm not often that caught out by conditions. Obviously, we didn't see it before the race. I assume they probably did, but I don't think anyone could have predicted those monsoon conditions for just the last 2 laps, and then they went away straight afterwards. It was just like it was there to toy with us. I do think, like I say, Hadler will be feeling a bit
gutted
that he didn't pick wets. Actually,
he would have won.
Or even that he didn't just stay out because he had no penalties. You know, he had no penalties. He would have won because he was already ahead of Llama Queen, and Llama Queen had beat all the injuries to the line. So
yeah.
We'll get to speak to Lars, by the way. He seems interested to join you.
I think Lars doesn't know about his 10-second penalty.
I'm not going to break it to him.
No, I'm not going to break to him either. He's got the podium on the road.
He'll sit here and think, oh, what a great race I had. Did you see the podium I got? We're like, yeah, it was great.
I think we'll just wait, I think, as well I'll see if Antoine wants to go in, because I don't think Antoine will predict this, but we'll get Lars in as well. We won't break it to him. Anyway.
We have to, though.
Yeah, we I'll let you do it. I hate to do that.
Well, right, we'll do it this way. We'll both take the blame for it. I'll tell him about the penalty, but I'll tell him that you told me about the penalty because you did.
Yeah. I actually
we'll
said
go
on
that.
stream. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
I'll take that. Right, let's bring Lars in. Hello, Lars.
Hello.
So you were looking very, very good towards the end. Now, were you expecting the wet conditions to get that like monsoon or?
Yeah, it was really wet. It seems like that the hard tire were faster than the Inters on the really wet conditions. But yeah, I had a 10-second penalty from last race, so I'll take this performance.
Yeah, that would have put you P6 after your 10-second penalty from last week. So still not too bad. Still some decent points as well. Did you change your strategy from later on as well? Did you think that the hards were the best tires? What made you decide to pit when you did?
Yeah, I decided already before the qualifying starts. So yeah, I was going for hards and going to the end when the rain was coming. So yeah, it was a fun race.
Yeah, as well. Obviously, you were close to the win earlier on, but we forgot about the penalty until I pointed it out as well. I honestly, I felt gutted as well because I was hoping you was going to get that win, but you still have loads of rounds to go as well. What was the hardest bit of that race apart from these wet conditions? Because the hards obviously were very, very difficult. In normal conditions, it would have been hard from like lap 20. How hard was it to keep on the road even before the rain came?
Yeah, it was really hard at the end, the hard tire, when the rain was coming. I took also a penalty because I had a bit of a moment with the hard tire. But yeah, I'm really happy how all was going.
And I need to check where we are next week, actually. We got a good chat next week. Austria. We've gone to the longest lap on the calendar to the shortest lap on the calendar. How are your chances there? Are you gonna get a podium next week? Come on.
I hope so. My pace around Austria is very good, so I hope to take another podium.
Yeah, as well. And who would you see as your nearest championship rival? Now you had the first two races, because even after tonight, we don't know the pecking order yet. After what happened,
I think Boliner and Fabio are big rivals for me.
Nice shout. Any questions, Owen, for our podium sitter who is not a podium sitter due to penalties?
Well, I haven't actually got anything. I think you did cover everything. I just want to say, you did give us an entertaining race. It's a shame you lost the podium, but I do hope you can keep the form on this season because it's looking pretty good. So well done for the performance. You entertained us quite well.
Yeah, thanks for commentating as well.
You're welcome. And best of luck for next week around Austria.
Yeah, thanks.
And we're trying to get Antoine in, but it doesn't look like he wants to join, which is a bit of a shame. I think he's still in shock, I think, as well. But I think start of the race, okay. Mid of the race, it was a bit quiet. But the end of the race, I would say 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for craziness, I have to say. But I hope we get this lot of crazy racing next week in Austria. But I think we're going to get some battles at least. I think one of the closest qualifying sessions next week, apart from Bahrain Short. So I'm excited for next week. So what are you expecting from these drivers next week?
Well, I just think it's most fascinating that we just don't know the order yet. We've had two races that have one's been a short track, which just mixes everything up in the first place. And then we've had this one this week where it's all been about that strategy for the rain. And where you've had some of the faster drivers maybe not being where you'd expect them to be. And then those last two laps threw it all into chaos anyway. So, I'm still waiting to see just how this grid all handles. And I think they're all at the same time waiting to see, where am I? So I think we'll still get a very competitive race as a result of that next week. I don't think anyone knows what's going on yet. And in such a short calendar, it's going to create a great championship fight as well, I think.
I have a feeling it's going to go down to the last race in Brazil. I can call it right now. We almost had a championship fight go down to Japan last season and we didn't get it. I think this is the season to do it. Williams are on a high with Antoine and obviously Haller almost getting there as well. Will any of the constructors be able to stop Williams? We'll have to wait and see. But meanwhile, we still got more PSGL streams on the channel right now. We got, I need to try and remember which ones are also in apart from F1. So we've got F1 and F6, I think. I don't know. F1, F6 and F7. There we go. I've eventually got it right. But yeah, make sure you tune in to any of those streams and support them. But meanwhile, we'll head off and let you enjoy those. Thanks and for joining me in the commentary box as usual. And we will see you next week, same time, for the Austrian Grand Prix. If this race was crazy enough, I'm looking forward to next week. Have a good evening, everybody. Goodbye.